Okay, we get our exposure right in the camera. Yes, I'm at f8 at 1/60th of a second, and I'm going to photograph this pavilion which they use for weddings. Let's see how we go. Right, we crop in frame and we take the shot. Very good. You know, people often ask me two questions, and I get asked this question a lot. I've been involved with photography for over 35 years, and in the last 3 or 4 years, the questions that are coming to me are this: what's the best camera to use? And what's the best camera to buy? Well, in this episode of Sniper Photography, I've got the answer for you, and we're going to start right now. Hi guys, welcome back to Sniper Photography. My name's Glenn Samuel. Look, putting that question that I often get asked is, what's the best camera to use and what's the best camera to buy? Well, when I'm confronted with those people asking me those questions that are before me, I look at what's happening around them, and usually they have a mobile phone in one hand, a point and shoot camera in the other, or a digital SLR hanging from their tourist strap around their neck. And the simple answer I give them leaves them speechless. There's actually, once I give the answer to their questions of what's the best camera to use and what's the best camera to buy, there's silence for a few seconds, and I'll tell you why there's silence in a moment. But the answer to that question, or those questions, what's the best camera to buy and what's the best camera to use, quite frankly, is the camera that you currently have. In other words, if you have a mobile phone, you don't have any other camera, use it. With mobile phone photography, you're not necessarily studying on how to use the phone as a camera, but you're using the camera in the phone, and you've got to learn composition and the rule of thirds, but that's for another day in another video. Having said that, if you have a mobile phone or a point and shoot camera or a digital SLR entry level with crop sensor body and lenses to suit, I suggest to you that's the best camera that you can use, the current equipment that you have. But people seem to think that they need expensive cameras and expensive equipment to become a good photographer and to take great photographs. Well, today I'm here to burst that bubble and send them hurtling back to reality, to the fact that you don't need high-end equipment, one, to be a good photographer, and two, to take good photographs or good shots, or to make good photographs. So the reasoning for this is, most people I see seem to think that you need to go out and spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, even $6,000 on a camera and a couple of lenses and maybe a flash unit. And that's high-end equipment. That is full frame, fast lenses, which in essence is probably the best you can buy for what we do. But do you really need that equipment? Do you really need a 2-point or f2 24-70 lens, or do you need a full censored body, not an APS sensor, not a crop sensor? Well, the answer to that is probably no, you don't. My suggestion is to, if you're new to photography or you're wanting to get into photography and you're asking those questions, what's the best camera to use? What do I need to buy? Do I need to spend a lot of money? No, you don't. Try and keep your first camera purchase, whether it's a digital SLR or a mirrorless camera or even a phone, to under $1,000. And the reason being is because, who knows, in 12 months' time you might want to take up golf. And if you brought a $3,000 or $4,000 camera, it's going to sit there in the bottom of the drawer and collect dust, and that's ridiculous. And a lot of people drop away from this fantastic, this beautiful pastime which we call photography. So the thing with this is, you don't need high-end equipment. You don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I know there's photographers out there that earn a reasonable income, part-time income, with their mobile phones for taking photographs for Instagram for companies. Can you believe this? And it is happening as we're speaking today. So go out, spend probably $800, $900 on a kit lens and a crop censored camera from Nikon or Canon, and learn to use it. Learn to use that camera. learn all your dials. When you look at the top of a digital SLR, when you first pick one up, you think, my God, how am I going to learn how to use this machine? Well, don't be afraid. Those numbers and figures and letters are there for a reason. There's TV, there's AV, there's P, there's S, there's program, there's automatic, and then there's M, that M word again. It's not monster, it's manual. Learn how to use your camera. So the idea is not to spend a lot of money as you come into this great pastime, photography. You don't need to. Some of the greatest photographs ever taken, and you can Google this, it's all there, have been taken with the minimalist, is that a word, of camera equipment. You don't need to spend a lot of money on cameras to achieve great shots. You just don't need to do that. Maybe 2 or 3 years' time, when you're really into photography, you can go and spend that money on the full frame and the fast lenses, which are good in certain circumstances. If you're in a low light situation, you need a faster lens so you can control your aperture more and get that shot. But overall, I really believe it's not the camera that makes the photograph. The camera only takes the picture. You, as the photographer, makes the photo. And that's what I instill in my students when I'm teaching them. I try and get them to think and talk like a photographer. As I'm leaving the house, I say to my loved ones, I'm going out to make some photographs. I had a work colleague the other day ask me, what are you doing this weekend, Gleno? I said, well, I'm going out to make some photographs. And he looked at me rather strange. I said, no, my camera takes the photo, but I, as the photographer, makes the picture. So it all goes back to the gear. We don't need expensive equipment to do this. You don't. I'd rather see you spend $700, $800, $900 on a camera and a kit lens, maybe 2 lenses. Sometimes Nikon and Canon have these specials through these big box retailers we have in this country. But if you've got an extra $1,500 or $2,000, I'd rather you put that extra money into the education of your photography. In other words, go to workshops, buy books, look at these videos, ask questions of other photographers. Put your extra money into your apprenticeship, because at the end of the day, photography, while you're learning it, it's like an endless apprenticeship. You'll never finish it because there's so much to learn. As I said, I've been doing this for over 30 years and I'm still learning and I still make mistakes. But having said that, please don't think that you need high-end equipment to become a good photographer, because the simple answer is you don't. So I'd like to finish up by saying, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell next door so you don't miss anything. And I really appreciate the followers that I get on my YouTube channel. I'm available at Facebook and Instagram, and all those links will be down below in this video. So as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, keep smiling and you keep shooting. Bye for now.